Radhe Radhe Purnimaji, welcome to EGK batch 3 presentation on Kali Dharma Undhiyar. Gopika Jeevana Smaranam Govinda Govinda. We have 10 students going to present today. So one by one we are going to start. Let's start with Aditya. Aditya, chant 3 times and start your presentation. Unmute yourself.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Gopika Jeevana Smaranam Govinda Govinda, Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Radhe Radhe Purnimaji. I'm Aditya from Toronto, and today me and all of my other E-Gopakuteeram friends are going to give a presentation on Guruji's magnum opus called Kali Dharma Undhiyar. Now let's look at what is Kali Dharma Undhiyar. Kali Dharma Undhiyar is, as I said, it's the magnum opus. It's a masterpiece by our Guru Maharaj, a beautiful, beautiful work written for everyone in this Kali Yuga. It consists of 31 verses, which is 30 verses and a prayer song at the beginning, which is Kadavul Vazhathu. Now, we may wonder, who is this Kali Dharma Undhiyar for? Does it have any, does it require any adhikaritvam, etc.? Guru Maharaj gives the answer. It's like, who are the intended audience except EGK students, of course? It's everyone in the Kali Yuga. Everyone has equal right to this, which we'll see how Guru Maharaj beautifully puts it in his first verse itself, how it's common for everyone. And now we will move on to the Mangala Charana, or the Kadavul Vazhathu of Kali Dharma Undhiyar. Let's start with it. Muttoril Purindum Puriyadirkum Mudalva Sharanam Mundi Para Muktik Vittiduvai Unde Para. Beautiful verse in which Guru Maharaj says, Muttoril Purindum Puriyadirkum. So that means the one, he doesn't specify who it is, the one who performs the 3 primordial duties, which is creation, sustenance, and dissolution, yet stays out of it. So we have this common expression in our households, like, Inna Parabrahma Mari anga ukkandirukka. So that's exactly what Guru Maharaj says here, that Bhagavan, he doesn't specify it here because it's for everyone, both Astikas and Nastikas. So he says, Muttoril Purindum Puriyadirkum, the one who performs all these duties, yet who stays out of it without indulging himself in it. And then Guru Maharaj adds on, Mudalva Sharanam Undipara. This word Mudalva is very, very beautiful in this scenario because, as I said, Kali Dharma Undhiyar is a common work for everyone. And Guru Maharaj answers it from the Nastikas to the people of the highest spiritual cadre. So Guru Maharaj says, I surrendered to this creator. Mudalva in the sense, the one who's first. You can take it in any religion, any god you want, etc. He doesn't specify this. Sharanam Undipara. I surrendered to this person. And then Undipara is part of the Undhiyar meter. So Guru Maharaj writes it in a beautiful meter for the children. And down you can see 2 images, Purnimaji. So one is of some dark clouds and the other is of Krishna. And it may be confusing, like, why does he have this dark picture and then he has Krishna next to it? It's just to represent that God can be both Saguna and Nirguna, and Guruji does not exactly specify who it is. So we can take it in any perspective we want. And then Muktik Vittiduvai Undipara. So Guru Maharaj puts it in a place that what is the way we have to take this work of his. So should we take it as a work which is to aid in our material life? No. He sets it that Muktik Vittiduvai. It shows the path to liberation. Look at the whole work from this perspective, because if we don't, then we might not understand the purpose of some of the verses. So that is the crux of this. And let's look at Kali Dharma Undhiyar from the lens of attaining liberation. Thank you, Purnimaji. The next person is going to be Madhu from Texas.
Radhe Radhe Aditya, thank you so much for presenting. It's a wonderful presentation. I'll pass it on over to Madhu for the next presentation. So Madhu is from Texas, California. Sorry, Texas, Houston, Texas. And she's going to do her presentation now.
Radhe Radhe, Purnimaji. I will be talking about verses 1 and 2 on Kali Dharma Undhiyar. The five elements which are earth, air, space, water and fire are all naturally against each other. Like if fire touches land, the piece of land will be destroyed. Or if water touches fire, the fire will perish. Holding these elements back from destroying each other is like two adults holding two little kids back from hurting each other. So these are not two little kids, but the five elements which are everywhere and not just in one place. So any ordinary human being cannot hold back these elements. So who is controlling these elements? That supreme person is none other than Bhagavan. Not just this, but all the five elements are part of the 24 laws. Earth teaches us to be patient with others even if they are hurting us. Like, even if we throw a stone at a tree, don't we patiently gives us fruits. Water quenches the thirst of every creature. For like this survives all living beings and is never proud of itself. Water teaches the quality of beauty. Fire is present in all being which possess heat. Fire burns everything by its flames and is untouched by impurities. It teaches us to see everything equally and without judgment. Air is pure and odorless in itself. It blows on both sweet and foul-smelling things without any discrimination or preference. Though it momentarily seems to take on the smell of its surroundings, in a short while it reveals pristine quality. Place is everywhere. It is like a house which contains everything. By itself it is pure. Even though sometimes it may appear to be impure, it never gets stained by the impurity.
So the next one going to present is going to be Rishikesh. Rishikesh is not here with us. So Aditya Kannan.
Radhe Radhe Purnimaji and Radhe Radhe everyone. I am Kannan from New Jersey. I am in the 7th grade. Thank you for the opportunity to present Sloka 5 and 6 from Kali Dharma Undhiyar given to us by our Guruji. Can you see the screen?
Yes, Aditya.
Sloka 5. Bhumiyal porta, Vidai Mulai Varovada, Bhumikovi from the end of Undipara, Marupada Kilayandra Undipara, The fact that the seed sown in the soil sprouts clearly means that earth has life. No one can refute this. This sloka establishes the fact that only life can create life. Popular science's chemical reactions somehow led to original life forms which evolved into complex life forms that we have today. And that is not true. The sloka is giving the example of how a seed sown grows into a tree because of the life of prana or God that is inherent in the earth. There is nothing that is non-living because God is everywhere. Life can only arise from life. You cannot deny this fact. This picture shows that scientists say that trees communicate with each other using earth as the medium. Sloka 6. Tondriyadayam ayandadu thorum tondi aryam and undi para yuktiku purutama undi para. That which is born will die, that which dies is reborn. The cycle of birth and death goes on. That is most logical. God is perfect and His creation is perfect. He never does something randomly. He creates the earth, destroys the earth, and creates it again exactly the same, and destroys it again, and the cycle continues. This is so perfectly logical because there is no randomness to it, and you can see the supreme intelligence behind this cycle. The perfect creation is an inference that God is perfect. Human beings are born and they die and reborn in a never-ending cycle. This cycle can be broken, and the way is to follow the path that our Master has shown us. This picture shows many universes being created by Lord Krishna. And this picture shows the Lord creating Brahma so he can engineer the universes. The only way to break this cycle is to chant Nama. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present Loka 5 and 6 from Kali Dharma Undhiyar, given to us by our Master.
Thank you so much, Kannan. I'll next pass on over to Meera. Meera from California. Meera, start.
Radhe, my name is Meera from California, and today I'll be talking about verses 7 and 8 from Kali Dharma Undhiyar.
Louder, louder, Meera.
படைப்பின் காரணம் பட்டவர்தனமாம் வீடு பெறதேவது உந்தி பர விஷய அனுபவமில்லை உந்தி பர. This is a beautiful verse composed by our Master. What is moksham? Moksham is simply attaining the Lord. And being born as a human itself is a great thing. So why are you born in the first place? G simply says you are born to have moksham and to reach none other than the Lord. And to getting attached to materialistic things does not give you pure happiness. And when you get attached to materialistic objects, your mind is diverted. And whereas when you're reaching Bhagavan, there's only one thing is involved, and that is simply Nama Sankirtanam. Nama Sankirtanam can simply just help you attain the Lord. Verse 8 is also a beautiful sloka. Muktikku karanam yuktikku porindidum vedam erka vendum undi para veru bayamille undi para. In the previous verse, we talked about why we should attain moksha. And to attain moksha, there is one simple path, and that path must be accepted by the Vedas. Vedam yerka vendum. The Vedas should accept. There is no other way to reach moksham. Veru ubayamillai undi para. And there's a simple reason why we should choose the Vedas path. It's because the Vedas have beautifully come out from just Sakshat Bhagavan's breath itself. We should trust it the most. It's most simple and most easy for us to attain, especially in the Kali Yuga. Concluding these two verses, this verse 7 simply just shows how to attain moksha, and it also shows the right way to attain moksha. And verse 8 shows what kind of path and lifestyle you should live to simply attain moksha. Thank you for listening. Radha Radhe to all and Purimaji.
Radhe Radhe, Meera. Thank you so much. Govind.
Radhe Radhe, Purnimaji and the rest of the E-Gopakuteeram class. I am Govind Ramgopal and I will be presenting slokas 7, 9, 10 and 11. Sorry. So, slokas, this is Kali Dharma Undhiyar, the blessing given to us by Guruji, and he is explaining to us, to the non-believers, what all, in these slokas, what all paths we should take and how we should lead our life. So in sloka 9, Vedatil sonnade காலத்திற்கு ஒத்தவ கருத்தினு கொள்ள வேண்டும் உந்தி பர மறுத்தற்கிடமில்லை உந்தி பர. In this sloka, Guruji means that like if the Vedas ask you to do tapas, you can't do it in the Kali Yuga because it's hard. So the easier path to take to God is to chant Nama, and that will give you more benefits because Bhagavan wants you to do that and it helps you more. This is sloka 10. Ietrinde vendiye diraviyam indru kittumo undi para kittade vine undi para. In this slokam, Guruji is conveying that what you have to do has to be suitable for your yuga. So in the Krita Yuga, they used to do a lot of good things, and depending on how good you do it, the more benefits you get. But in Kali Yuga, it's harder to do such things. So that is why we should take the easiest path to Bhagavan, which is the Bhakti Marga, where he overlooks us, and we cry out to him to ask us to take us in. This is sloka number 11. நியமங்கள் நிறைந்த யோக மார்க்கத்தில் நியமம் தாழ்வனால் உந்தி பர புத்தி பேடக்குமென்று உந்தி பர. In this sloka, Guruji is saying that you need to control your senses when you're taking the yoga marga. So you need to like not get addicted to anything or not like anything too much. You need to stay normal. Which is why there's a lot of rules and it's hard to follow yoga marga and it's very dangerous. Which is why again the bhakti marga is the easiest way to attain Bhagavan in the Kali Yuga. Thank you. In the end.
Thank you so much, Govind. So Aparna. So all the Californians are coming in order. Meera, Govind, Aparna.
Radhe Radhe. My name is Aparna Prabhakar. I'm in 7th grade. I live in San Jose, California, and I'm going to be explaining verses 12 to 15 of Kali Dharma Undhiyar. சுவையான உணவுடன் சுகமான வாழ்க்கையில் மனமடங்கும் என்பது உந்தி பர மடமையே ஆகும் என்று உந்தி பர. If you think that if you have a comfortable life, then you will have devotion, then you're tricking yourself. If you have a simple life, it will help you have more devotion than a luxurious life, because a luxurious life will distract you and will actually be dragging you deeper into the materialistic world. Let's say a boy slipped into a river. He can't swim and he has to grab something to survive. He sees a knot and grabs on, but it's a crocodile. A crocodile would eat the boy and it would be equivalent to drowning. The materialistic world is like the crocodile. Varnam varnamacha ashramam soleyacha pada dharmam puyacha undi para Shatiratal avadanna undi para. The words varnam and ashramam are dharmas followed in our shastras. But if you ask a lay person like you or me what the words varnam or ashramam mean, they would give colloquial everyday definitions. They would say varnam is color and ashramam is a park or a pretty place where a guru or rishi resides. This first means that we can't do today what rishis did in, say, the Satya Yuga. Today, the only dharmam that will help us is chanting nama. Kovilum tirtamum vyaparamana kudi kudi povadalundi para ondrum payanille undi para. If you treat bhakti like a business with God and you are striking deals with God, then your bhakti is not permanent. The second your job is done, you will forget about God until next time. If you go to the holy rivers without bhakti, then it will become like a tourist destination. A student has finals coming up. He or she goes to the temple and prays to God to help them pass. When the tests are over, they forget about God and chanting nama. The students will only remember God and start praying when the next tests come around. Pujai purogitam puranam iveyellam panathirkendra pinnundi para payanannai vatralandrundi para. If someone does puja or is a priest or does harikatha for money rather than out of bhakti, then they will not have a real connection with God. But if someone does them with real bhakti and devotion, they will reap more benefits. Say a person doing puja goes around giving lectures about how we should have so much bhakti and yada yada yada, when in reality, they don't have the bhakti. They just collect the audience's money and go away. The money was earned in a very hypocritical way and they don't get any spiritual benefits. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Thank you so much, Aparna. Kishori, you can carry on. Kishori is from Dallas, Texas.
Radhe Radhe. 1 second, I'm trying to figure this. Radhe Radhe everyone, Radhe Radhe Purnima ji. My name is Kishori and I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I'm in 9th grade. And today I'm going to be presenting like the meaning and my interpretation of verses 16 through 19 of our Guruji's Kali Dharma Undhiyar. Sadangum sampradayam sadhanek angamam angamadigamanal undi para sadhane vinagum undi para. So the meaning of this verse is that there are a lot of rituals and traditions given to us in our Sanatana Dharma that are supposed to be part of our practices. But when they exceed like certain limits, they start hampering our progress. So the situation, like the example that I'm going to be explaining is Ekadasi fasting. So when I think of Ekadasi, I think that it's the one day that my mom doesn't make me eat rice. But the real like goal of Ekadasi is to limit food intake so we have more time for God. But when people like start focusing on like the fasting part and like starving themselves and only focus on that part, like they're like, oh, I'm not eating, and they don't like think about Bhagavan at all. They don't think about Bhagavan, and that's the real point. So that in turn hampers our progress. சரணாகதி செய்தற்கும் விசுவாசம் வேண்டும் சொல்லற்கு எளிதாமென்று உந்தி பர செய்தற்கு அரிதாமென்று உந்தி பர. So in this verse, our Guruji is saying that even to surrender, you need to completely give yourself up to God. No questions, no doubt. And you need unshakable faith on him. So the only devotees like Meera and Prahalada are like the ones who did complete surrender. They went through so many unimaginable hardships that like we cannot even like process, and still they're thinking it's all God's wish, and they're still only like focusing on Bhagavan. But in this age, like even if something like bad happens, like if someone like prayed to God for something and it doesn't happen, they're gonna blame it on Bhagavan, and they're gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna pray anymore. So in this age, even like surrender is hard for us. Okay, I'm gonna be explaining verses 18 and 19 together because they kind of go hand in hand, and like the basic meaning is like about like magic. Maya jalam kaati mahesan undendral undrendru agumo undi para sindikka vendumendru undi para nidhi sthalam tannil maya jalam kaatina nirupanamagumo undi para ide marupavarullaro undi para. So the basic meaning of verse 18 is that magic cannot be used to prove the existence of God. And the next one, like in the court, an individual can't really like perform magic and then use that as an evidence to prove that they're innocent. Like they can't be accused for a crime and do some like random magic trick and be like, see guys, I'm not guilty. Like the court won't accept this. There's no logical link between magic tricks and the truth. So an example of this would be Sangadeva, like in the life of Jnaneshwar. So Sangadeva was a person who meditated, and he got a lot of powers from doing all that meditation. And what he did one time was like he woke up a lot of people that were dead. And you know, everyone was super amazed, and they were like, wow, he can do this, he's like Bhagavan. And then our Muktabai, Jnaneshwar's sister, she's only 5, okay, so she didn't do any of this meditation or anything. She just has that jnanam, and she also went and touched everyone's forehead, and they all woke up and they started chanting nama. So like there's no link between magic and the truth. Like this person, he got all these powers from meditation, but what about Muktabai? She's just a 5-year-old child. So though he like meditated and like attained so much power through that, after a while he started like going for his own prosperity and for his name and his fame, and he let go of the most important thing, which is the name of Bhagavan. So you can't lose sight of that. And that's like basically what these 2 verses, like what our Guru Maharaj is saying. So Radhe Radhe, and thank you to E-Gopakuteeram, and thank you Purnima ji for giving me this opportunity and listening to me.
Thank you so much, Kishori. Next we again go to California. Purush is from California.
Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe to all. My name is Purushothaman from Redding, California. Today I'll be
louder, Purush.
Radhe Radhe. My name is Purushothaman from Redding, California. Today I'll be presenting verses 20 to 23. Satyam dharmam Vishuvasam என்பதில் ஒன்று கூட இல்லாமல் உந்தே பர கடவுள் அரிதாம் என்று உந்தி பர. Without the three qualities of Dharma, Satyam, and Vishwasam, it is almost impossible to realize God. Even if you do not have these qualities, however, just by chanting the Mahamantra, a guru accepts you the way you are and gives you moksham no matter what. That is the greatness of a guru. Guruji says that one should talk to Premikavardhan and say, I only like you, Krishna. I can't even stand myself when I look at my face in the mirror. How can I expect you to like me? Please change me however you like, so I may be able to be loved by you. The only thing that Bhagavan wants from you is to constantly chant Nama. That is enough to make him love you. Valiye vaganame konda jeevanam குடியேறிய காயமிது உந்தி பர ஒரு நாள் பறந்திடும் என்று உந்தி பர. There's a constant change all around us. In fact, the only thing that does not change is change. But we don't realize that we also change as well, and we do not last forever. That is Maya. Guruji addresses this with the saying, the thief of time is the greatest thief. Our birthday reminds us that one whole year has already passed in our lifetime and should serve as a warning that time is getting shorter. Life is not an endlessly ticking clock, but it's a timer set for many years. That is a fact of life. Nunnalum tun vayal kedum. Ramuji says, okay, a big fat frog is suddenly caught by a snake, which is trying to eat it. Half of its body is in the snake's mouth. The frog, after some time, forgets what is happening to him and tries to catch a fly passing by instead of freeing himself. This is exactly our scenario. Yama has us in our grasp, for he knows when we shall pass away. But without realizing this, we are too busy with Maya instead of escaping Kalan by chanting the Mahamantra. Ramaji says, there's no such thing as a long or short life. How long a short life is, or how short a long life is, are all the same. Even if you live for 1,000 years and did not chant the Mahamantra, there would be no point to that long life. Arakum nilayillai, arivum nilayillai, arthamum nilayillai, undi para, arindum ariyadaden undi para. Maya's most potent weapon is our skin. Without the skin covering us, we would not be able to even look at ourselves, and as we will only have bones and organs to look at. It's said that sugar cannot be tasted in a paper that says sugar. In the same way, just by researching about God and having a PhD in it, you cannot reach the lotus feet of the Lord. Great pundits who are well mastered in slokas would fall at the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and only then attain moksha. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who didn't even know how to write his own name, had very well-learned disciples who would surrender themselves to him. Guruji says, all the Shastras fell at the feet of Nama. All the modern educations fell at the feet of Nama. So Nama is the essence of all. Arthamam nilayate. Patinathar, a merchant who had sent his son to sea for business. But news came that the son's ship was caught in a cyclone. Patinathar prayed to Bhagavan, if he comes back safe and sound, I will leave all my wealth and surrender to you. Bhagavan brought his son back safe and sound. After receiving his son, Patinathar asked him, did you make any profit in this trip? The son laughed and said, you prayed to Bhagavan that you will surrender yourself and your belongings, and you asking me for profit? The son then pointed to a broken needle and said, Kadarunda usiyam varada kade varikakan. You cannot even take a broken needle with you after death. So why worry about profit? Instead, chant Nama now to attain the Lord, like how we save for our retirement funds. தனிக்கணையானாலும் வாடகை வீட்டிற்கு பொருள் செலவழி பணம் உந்தி பெற அவசியமே செய்வனென்று உந்தி பெற. Padinatar says, பருத்த தொண்டியை நமதென்று நாம் இருப்ப நாய் நரிகள் பேய் கழுகு தமதென்று தான் இருக்கும் தானே. A wealthy man admires himself and his wealth by patting his tummy and spending lavishly. But a vulture looks down and thinks, one day you will pass away, and your meat shall all be mine. The result is the light at the end of life is the Mahamantra that we accumulate in our lifetime. Thank you to Purnimaji and my EGK teachers for giving me such an opportunity. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Purush. Thank you so much, Purush. I pass on to Arvind again from Texas. Radhe Radhe Arvind.
Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe. My name's Arvind Arunachalam from Texas. I'm in the 12th standard, and this is my presentation on Kali Dharma Undhiyar, stanzas 24 through 27. Jeevan kuriyatkum chinna kurilikka upsaram deva ilai undi para uppayo gamatilendra undi para. So the meaning of stanza 24 is that we need to keep our bodies healthy and clean for bhakti, but we shouldn't be too passionate about it because we're still renting it. And the reason I still said renting is because the best way I know to understand this stanza is to put it in the metaphor of an apartment. So whenever you live in an apartment, you have to be very careful to be clean and to maintain your apartment. Because if you don't, then your landlord will get upset and it'll become very hard for you to find another apartment in the future. And this is the same way Bhagavan views us. So Bhagavan has given us the gift of being able to live in a human body, but if we don't take care of it by feeding it unhealthy things and by not maintaining it, then the next time Bhagavan decides to reincarnate us or send us on the next path of our journey, he may not be so kind and put us in a human body. So stanza 25. Dukkum varavudam irevanan arulale virakti valarve undi para paradayan vinayendra undi para. So this stanza is all about how our emotions, happiness and sadness are all temporary. And this is something that I know a lot of the kids in the EGK program can relate to, especially if they're in high school. So at least for me, in my high school experience, a lot of the times when I was in the younger standards, the grades really dictated my happiness. And so, if I got an A one week, I was very happy. And if I got a B the next week, I was very upset. And I really let the teachers and what they thought of me control how I thought of myself. And it was only until I was able to mature that I was able to realize that at the end of the day, you are the ultimate judge, and you and Bhagavan are the only ones who can truly, give that final judgment about yourself. And the second part of the stanza is also about how sorrow, it's a grace from God, and it teaches us about the real goal of life, to attain God. And this is really important because a lot of us think that we learn about ourselves in our triumphs, but it's also in our greatest defeats when we rely on Bhagavan and when we rely on our family, and that's when we also learn a lot more about what our priorities are. Stanza 26. Adar voyadvare anevaran padviyam veni mugamayam endra undi para unmuga manidam endra undi para. So this stanza is talking about how even with the six senses that Bhagavan has blessed us with, we are usually drawn to the external world rather than looking back at creation and all of Bhagavan's leelas. And this actually makes sense because Bhagavan, as it was said before, he always does things with a certain purpose. He won't ever just do something or perform an act just for the sake of it. And so he gave us our mouth for chanting, his kirtans. He gave us our ears for being able to listen to his leelas. He gave us our nose so that we could smell the sweet fragrance of all of the flowers and all the offerings that we give him. But even though it's very obvious what our senses were meant to be used for from Bhagavan, a lot of the times we end up pursuing worldly things and things that Bhagavan never intended for us to use, the senses that he blessed us with in the first place. And stanza 27. Arthamam kamamam nirendana pirapanjamam viranjam kanavillai undi para vedane vedanayantra undi para. So in this final stanza, Guruji, he's again touching upon a theme that a lot of the other kids in their presentations also spoke about, which is that basically in our new society, in the Kali Yuga, there's people are going a lot after money and after material things, and that's very painful to see this. And actually, as a 12th grader right now, this stanza very directly relates to me, because a lot of my friends, when we're searching for college, they'll always say, I want to go to this college for this major because I want to make the most money. And a lot of the time, it's not about learning or about, the other things about, or not about the other pursuits of developing as people, but more about pursuing just the highest paycheck. And the thing is that a lot of them don't know, a very common lesson that Ramuji would always say whenever he came to Dallas, which is that whenever you're born to this world, you're born with nothing on you. And when you leave the world, you leave, and you take nothing with you. And so Guruji here, he's just really emphasizing one more that pursuing material pleasures is the wrong way to go, because at the end of the day, all we have is Bhagavan and nothing else. So thank you so much for Purnima-ji for being here to view this presentation, and for Rekha-ji and all the E-Gopakuteeram teachers for teaching us. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Arvind, thank you so much. The last presentation is by Aditya, and he's going to conclude our presentation. Radhe Radhe Aditya.
Radhe Radhe again, Purnima ji, Rekha ji, and all others. It was a beautiful presentation on the verses by Aravind, and I'm just going to continue from that place. Ulaga vicharam vittu un vicharam kondal urupadalame unde para marupadarkillai endru unde para. Very beautiful verse by Guru Maharaj. So, in this verse, let's look at it line by line. So, Guru Maharaj says, Ulaga vicharam vitte, un vicharam kondal. So, instead of trying to change the world, if you try to look into yourself, so where can we see the example for this? Purnima ji in her beautiful discourse on Navayogi Upakhyana and Uddhava Gita recently told us that the Navayogis were so capable that they literally tried implementing every single path, and they tried to find out which path is the best. They have that much tapas, so they can do. But me, when I hear about Patanjali Yogeshwara saying Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, I'm just like, I'm not even at the first step. How can I go beyond that? So, at least me, it's very, very difficult to follow other paths. So, instead of looking into the world, if I simply just look into my matters, instead of saying, oh, why are you doing yogama? Why are you doing yagam? Instead of questioning others' beliefs, I try to look into myself. Guru Maharaj says, at least you can improve your current state. Don't worry about what others are doing. Like in this picture, all these pawns are trying to become the king. It's actually a queen in chess. But in this, it shows that in our spiritual life, we must try to aim to become into a higher position instead of just worrying about others. Marupadar killai endru undi para. So Guru Maharaj says this logic is irrefutable, because, as I said, like even in English, we have this common term. We say, don't poke your nose into others' business. It's always good and appreciated by everyone. Just like the matchstick, it burns whenever it's lighted, and the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. This is also an irrefutable point which Guru Maharaj makes. Now, I'd like to share a very, very comic example of Sri Bhaginathan ji, who is the personal secretary of our Guru Maharaj. So, Bhaginathan ji, in his beautiful discourse on Kali Dharma Undhiyar, he states the example for this verse. And he says, this common phenomenon we have about selfies, right? We all love taking selfies, looking at our face and saying, wow, I look so good, even though we're not. But then Bhaginanji just adds a small bit to it. He's just like, instead of just looking into this 4 centimeter or 3 centimeter deep skin, if you just take that selfie to a next level, you can at least, reach a higher place and, attain Atma Sakshatkaram and finally Bhagavan. Now let's go on to the next verse. It's verse 29. So this is Manita Piraviyum Muktiyilasayum Mahangadin Sangamam Mundipara Aridino Maridamindrundipara. This I would arguably say is the most beautiful verse and the verse which we all need to remember in Kali Dharma Undhiyar, because it says Manida Piraviyum, human birth, Muktiyil Asayum, that is the thirst to attain liberation or Mukti, and Mahangalin Sangamum Undipara. So having the company of all Mahatmas and Avatara Purushas is Aridinum Aridamindrundipara. It's the rarest of rare gifts one can receive. You can be a billionaire, etc. But all these 3 things happening in one person's life is the rarest of rare. And what is the pramanam for this? Who else has said this apart from Guru Maharaj? All the Mahans have said this. And one of the examples, as quoted by Purnimaji, is Shishya Adi Shankaracharya. So Adi Shankaracharya wrote this beautiful grantha called Viveka Chudamani. And in that he also states, Manishyatam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samshayam. So the same thing as the rarest of rare gifts someone can receive. So if we get this, we should try to look for liberation, as Guru Maharaj also stated in the first verse, that we must look to attain liberation. So that's how we are supposed to see this work of Guru Maharaj. And finally, Guru Maharaj ends it off saying, இதுவரை சொன்னதை இதயத்தில் இருத்தினால் இறை நாமமே கதி என்று உந்தே பர ஏவர்க்கும் எளிதாம் என்று உந்தே பர. Till now, Guru Maharaj has been telling us, the yoga margam is difficult to follow by most people in the Kali Yuga. Yagam is difficult. Most places where bhakti is supposed to be there, is kind of getting corrupted. So what do? We have this question. Same like Bhagavad Gita. When Krishna says, leave it all, Arjuna thinks, okay, what am I supposed to, if I leave everything, what do I catch? That's why Guru Maharaj beautifully says, இதுவரை சொன்னதை இதயத்தில் இருத்தினால். So if you have understood whatever I have said till now, and you think you're actually facing a difficulty, because you can wake up someone who's sleeping, but if we think we have no problem, you can't wake someone up if they're acting like they're sleeping. So இதுவரை சொன்னதை இதயத்தில் இருத்தினால் இறை நாமமே கதி என்று உந்திப்பர. Guru Maharaj nails it. He says Bhagavan Nama is the only way to attain mukti in Kali Yuga, which is why we have Premikavardhan equal to our Mahamantra, because the Nama and Nami are no different. And Guru Maharaj, just like all the Mahans, he says Bhagavan Nama and Bhagavad Dharma is the only way to attain Bhagavan in Kali Yuga. As Purnimaji again beautifully said in the Navayogi Upakyanam, King Videha in the Upakyanam in Srimad Bhagavatam, he asked these 9 yogis who have, as I said, they experimented every single path and they said Bhagavad Dharma is the best. But King Videha first listened to this from the first brother called Kavi Yogishwara, and he thought, okay, maybe they'll give different answers. And he asked Hari Yogishwara, he asked Prabhuddhar, he asked Pippalanan, he asked everyone, and everyone gave the same answer. Irai Namame Gadi, Bhagavad Dharma is the only way, no matter how you look upon it. So that's what our Guru Maharaj also reiterates. And by the grace of our Guru Maharaj and our Sri Premikavardhan Thakurji, I pray that we chant more Nama and understand the purpose of our life. Thank you, Purnimaji, and thank you for all the E-Gopakuteeram teachers and my friends for enlightening me about this beautiful work by Guru Maharaj. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Aditya. Thank you so much. Sorry. Thank you so much. Radhe Radhe, Purnimaji. We are eagerly waiting for your feedback.
Radhe Radhe to all the Gopakuteeram students, to Rekhaji, and all who are watching this. It was a truly most enjoyable experience to hear the different interpretations. I know they've learnt it in Gopakuteeram and they've added their flavor and their understanding in their presentation, and it was lovely. Like Aditya said in the beginning, this is the magnum opus of Swamiji, our Guru Maharaj, and he wrote this in 2007, 10 years ago, and it was like the message that Swamiji gave to all of us, because it's exactly what his vision was, and that is the mission, because Nama is the goal, Bhagavan Nama to all is the goal. But Swamiji so beautifully set the stage of guiding us through why the other paths are not easy for us and why we should be doing this. And what I loved the most was all of you have understood this so beautifully, because though the verses are very straightforward, and for those of them who know Tamil, it will make a very, it's really easy to understand the meaning. But though the verses are simple, they are very profound. That's why, as you must have all heard, like many of you quoted Bhagyaji's lectures and Ramuji's lectures on that. So like Bhagyaji has, given hours together lectures on this topic. Imagine, like, for every verse he has given 2 hours or more. And that's how deep every verse is. And each of you have really understood everything, and all of your presentations were very beautiful. Literally the PPTs that you presented and the way you presented, everything was really beautiful. I'm not able to pick any one of you to say this was better than that, or it was a wholesome experience in all. And thanks a lot for sharing this. And I really thank all the Gopakuteeram teachers for your batch, for bringing this to you. And thanks for all your effort for doing this for us today. Thank you, Rekhaji.
Thank you so much, Purnimaji.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Purnimaji. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time and spending with us and listening to our children presenting in your busy schedule. And thank you to Sandhya ji. She is the one who took all the, she heard a lot of lectures and she took notes. And Seattle Sandhya ji, it's all her hard work. She presented to the children and everything. Thank you, Nitya ji, for helping her in Kali Dharma Undhiyar. And moreover, the students, most of them here are in high school. I know how busy they are with the school.
Yeah. They were all in 12th and 11th. They goated themselves. Yeah.
So, being in high school and attending classes are really hard. And moreover, more than attending, they have took some strain to prepare the presentation and take notes. You should see each and everyone notes. It will be wonderful. They take notes like anything. So, thank you so much. And thank you, Purnimaji, again for